Medical units stand by. 30 seconds to contact. 20 seconds. 15. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
We got him. Let's go.
And good evening to all you art aficionados and comic book connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Proof of Comics. This is episode 78. I'm your host, Frederic Guimont, and we got a special show for you tonight. We've got a musical guest. I think this is the first time we have a musical. No, we've had Everly. Everly, come on once, who's also a musical guest.
I think we had Chill Kid on once as well, too.
Oh, okay. So we've got some precedents here. And this is a special guest, especially to me. And if you're familiar with the stream, if you're familiar with me, you will know some of his work because he is the musical mind behind Annonymal. And he's the one who provided the music so graciously for my trailer I've been showing around. And without further ado, let me introduce first my co-host, Wrangler. How you doing, Wrangler? Welcome.
A whole lot of hola. I'm doing pretty good. A little chilly outside. I stepped outside and crystallized, but other than that, things are good.
It's so freaking freezing here. It's like the wind, as soon as it starts to get windy, it's like razor blades on your cheeks. It's like, it's crazy cold. And tonight our guest is Mr. Annonymal. Do I call you Annonymal or?
Yes, that's for sure.
Awesome. So the concept here is you're a musical group, especially focused on Bitcoin. I mean, only focused on Bitcoin from what I understand. And you are a kind of privacy first front name of group. I'm stepping over my words here, but could you tell us a little bit how Annonymal came to be, a little bit how the group, the idea kind of started in your mind and how the whole project kind of got started, if you will?
Well, Frederic, it's a pleasure for me to be with you. Pleased to meet you, Wrangler, as well. I was very inspired by the young Mick Jagger in the beginning.
Oh, nice.
Oh, if you're inspiration.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm very happy to be bronze medal here. Third musician to be on the show.
Yes.
Annonymal is a heavy metal band whose focus is on Bitcoin, philosophy, history, mission, but we don't sing only about Bitcoin. There are a few songs where we talk about social or political or more broad economic issues, But the main focus is about Bitcoin because we want to give Bitcoin a heavy metal voice, as we say.
Yeah. And I think you're the only heavy metal talent in the space that I've seen. Because I've seen rappers, I've seen hip hop, I've seen R&B, I've seen kind of drum and bass stuff. But you are the kind of one big metal group that I've seen, at least on my radar.
Yeah, we are the first of the world as a heavy metal band singing about Bitcoin in a more specific and broad way and really incarnating this issue. But of course, there are other metal and rock groups that sing something about Bitcoin here and there, but focused only on Bitcoin, we are the first in the world.
Yeah, very
So
Bitcoin
that bronze
first.
medal just went straight to gold.
Oh, that's great.
Right? It goes in reverse. So, because you're very knowledgeable about Bitcoin, it seems like you are talking about topics that are not just superficial topics. The song that I've used for the trailer is called "The Wizard is a Fool," which is basically kind of dissecting and destroying the notion of NFTs, as I understand it.
Yeah, sure. Well, Frederic, Annonymal was born in 2022, so it will make 4 years in the next year. And yes, we like to talk about controversial themes in Bitcoin space. One of them were the ordinals and the use of Bitcoin to create this NFTs and all this dilemma, all this controversy. This controversy is not as strong today as it was before, but back in the days, there was a huge discussion about these topics. And we are open-minded. I think that if people pay the fees, more or less, they can put something in Bitcoin blockchain as the ordinals or anything. But it's something like you have a path that it's not the original path, and you open the way for a lot of scammers. In ordinals and NFTs, you have these people selling 1 satoshis for a lot of money because there is a message encrypted there, and we see this most as a scam than something legit. So we wanted to address this, and we put that on "The Wizard is a Fool." That is a very loved song for those who knows Annonymal.
Oh, dude, it's my favorite of all. And like I even have friends who do the Satoshi thing. Like, and on one end, I think it's ridiculous, to be honest. I've even told my friend that I don't believe in this at all. Like, especially when you're talking specific Satoshis, because without getting too technical, you can't isolate a Satoshi because it gets mixed in with the other U2XO. So it's just a number with the total value in an address at the end of the day. Yeah, although I've seen people move around a bunch of Satoshis from address to address, and I've got my friend who got like the original, some Satoshis from the original Bitcoin pizza transaction, and he values that. He's like, okay, this is like for collectors, right? This is a coin collecting kind of a thing. And some of my other friends are like, well, if I get my hands on those, I'm just going to mix them and you won't know where they went. And just to destroy any notion of traceability, because what we like about Bitcoin is the fungibility, the fact that 1 Satoshi equals 1 Satoshi, and all that. Yeah,
this is very important, and many people look over this because fungibility is a very important aspect, because you don't want to tam any Satoshi to say, oh, this Satoshi worth more than that one, because you destroy the whole concept that this is free money flowing freely through the internet, and there is not this kind of thing, oh, this Satoshi came from here, so it worth more than that one. No, every Bitcoin has a price. Of course, you can value the thing, the history of the transactions, where, oh, this history says that this coin was minted in this block, so it went there and here and there. But by the end of the day, fungibility is more important than this kind of thing. And most important than this is don't use this kind of stuff to scam other people. So if you do it, you are completely on the wrong side of history.
Oh, 100%, man, 100%. We are totally adverse to shitcoins and scammers, and whether it's fiat scammers or crypto scammers, we don't want any of that. Got
Yeah.
Draw a zombie in the house. Woo, he says. Nice to see you, man. So we're going to start this off. I'm going to show you the trailer, the second trailer. You haven't seen it yet, which is kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to get your first impressions on this.
Okay.
So it's about a minute and a half, the same length as the first one, but it's got a little bit more animation, some grok AI animations. I don't know how you feel about that. People have different opinions on AI right now, and some people have very strong opinions as well. Like for me, it kind of, especially in the indie comic space right now, it's kind of accepted in the trailers. So you don't want to put AI in your comic, but you'll use it in the trailers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I hope you don't mind that aspect. I know you've used some AI in your
Yeah,
video.
that's perfect. Of course, we can discuss this after we see the trailer.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's watch that trailer here. Second trailer of Ratel, closeout trailer.
Our world is crumbling, and most people are blind to it. A young computer whiz named Raimi decides to stand against the rising tide of oppression, only to find himself under the boot of those behind it all. Incarceration only proves to refine his resolve. Divine intervention takes away all fear from him in order to fix a broken system that enslaves us all. There comes a time when good men must ignore bad laws. Raimi dons a mask and becomes Ratel. Ratel uses intelligence and technology to combat ancient and dark forces for justice and a better tomorrow. Will Ratel take down the technocratic tyrants who've harnessed an ancient evil, or be crushed by the invisible hand?
That is awesome, man.
Glad you like it, man. Glad you like it. That song is perfect. It is so good.
We really enjoy the fact that we have our song on your trailer. And one thing that captures my attention is how rich is the Bitcoin story. As you can tell this story in so many different ways. Because myself, when I'm writing music about it, I don't have the skills you'll have to draw all this kind of universes and these characters and all this kind of stuff. But when I see your work, I can see myself writing a song about this Ratel and about all this kind of stuff because it's so cool.
Yeah, dude, like it goes so well together. Like comics traditionally, it's a silent medium, right? There's no sound when you're reading a comic book, but as a comic artist, you're always listening to music while you're drawing because the music gets you pumped. It gets you into, the action because it's very dynamic form of drawing, especially superhero drawings, man. You got the capes are always in the wind. You got the vertigo of the city. There's a lot of action kind of put into that.
And probably people reading are listening to something as well.
Oh yeah, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, and especially with this Eastern influence from Chinese and Japanese and all this kind of stuff, it relates very well with heavy metal because in the Western world, heavy metal has a more dark side, but in the East, you don't have this kind of feeling. So heavy metal blends very well with this.
Really? I didn't know this.
Yeah, because in Japan, more than in China, people use heavy metal in a more common way, not so related to old dark evil stuff. It's just very normal stuff for Japanese heavy metal fans. So you have this more acceptable in the industry, in the mainstream. You have the Megadeth ex-guitar player that he's a huge personality in Japan nowadays.
Really?
It's very interesting, this openness that Japan has to heavy metal in general.
Oh, that's fascinating stuff, man. So do you listen to any Japanese heavy metal as well?
Well, of course I already did, but the language barrier is a problem because it sounds very strange.
Yeah, for sure.
But of course, there are a lot of bands. There are a huge scene, and I'm really focused on one day Annonymal playing in Japan.
Oh, dude, for sure. You guys should be touring freaking Bitcoin conferences, man.
That's for
there's
sure.
not enough music yet in those. I would imagine when the price goes up, the budgets will go up. I mean, even getting artists, it's you don't always have a huge budget to travel and all that, so you have to
this is kind of tricky because it doesn't depend so much on the Bitcoin price. It depends on how much conferences value the cultural projects, because for you to travel internationally with a band, it's very expensive, it's not very easy, you have a whole logistic, and sometimes the money doesn't pay because you don't have so many people focused on going to the conferences because of the bands or the groups or the personas that make Bitcoin music. So this is a bit tricky, but in the future, maybe we can make this happen.
Yeah, we're kind of all building our reputation slowly, one day at a time. I mean, I say I'm taking over the world one page at a time.
Yeah.
You must be doing the same thing one song at a time as well. You know, you got to build that up, and eventually you get there. You get to a space where people recognize you and they want to see you, and then they can have more leverage to make you travel out there.
Yeah, and this is it. We have this mentality, keep in stacks and focus on our craft. So the idea is we are going to keep building, we are going to keep making music, and eventually if people like it and people want to see us live and people want to get together, this will happen naturally. And if it doesn't happen, if Annonymal stays a small band, there is no problem as well. We are preaching what we believe, and that's okay for us.
Oh yeah, dude, 100%. Like even if my comic doesn't take off, I'm still going to be making comics, because it's what I love to do.
That's perfect. And about AI is a huge discussion, of course. And Annonymal is very open to the use of AI. Of course, we are aware of the problems with this, especially when people want to substitute their hard work with AI. This is a problem. So I don't want to spend time writing the lyrics or writing the songs or making drawings. So I will, with a few prompts, do everything. We think this is not a good way to use this technology. But of course, we will not judge people who do. But in our case, AI creates value for us because it would be very expensive to draw all the things that we do using a professional. Of course, if we had the money, it would be a pleasure to have someone professional doing all the artworks and everything, but it's not a reality. So these tools, they make things a bit easier for you to show your product or your concept. So we are very happy using, especially Midjourney is what we use for the Annonymal arts in general. Okay. But for instance, in the case of our album artwork, we did it with a human artist, not through AI, because the cover of the album is a more sophisticated concept. It's not very easy for us to make this with AI, and we wanted a human touch. But this is a very complicated issue because people have different feelings and opinions, and people like to judge and condemn and point their fingers with people using AI and not turning to real artists. But this is complicated because in the end of the day, AI art created a way for people to express themselves. And there is a lot of good things. Even professionals working with AI creating astonishing work. So
I just see it same way as Newton Crosby, PhD. It just runs programs.
perfect. That's very important, because if you crush the innovation because you're afraid of, oh, it will take over the jobs and everything, it's a very silly point to make right now. Of course, we are aware of the dangers, but we must know how it's going to play out. Because you see, you have Suno these days. So there is this company making 7 million songs per day and all this kind of stuff. I will never stop making music because of this. If there was 7 million bands doing songs every day, my band would be one of them. So
Right.
I will not do it because other people will do. So, oh, there is this other people that having sex with their wives, so I will not have sex with my wife. No, it doesn't happen like this.
It's not original.
So this is it. But of course, we are aware of potential problems. But we are aware as well that this is an innovation. You cannot put the genie inside the bottle anymore. And we are going to have to live with AI.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I have mixed feelings as well. You know, like I use it for the trailer. For me, that's kind of like an enclosed area where it feels right. I could never get animated stuff done if it wasn't for AI. I would never afford it. And it makes trailers more interesting to look at, especially, you know, moving images instead of just, you know, panning. And other people do interesting things as well. That's not to say that you can't do it, but I find it gives an extra thing to see these characters pop and come to life. And then at the same time, when I see people making AI comics, the hair on my back goes up. You know, I don't
on
like that.
On the flip side, it could make actual handcrafted art more valuable.
Yeah.
Because I mean, some people do some actually really good work. They use AI to generate something, but then they'll sit there and they'll tweak it, they'll tailor it, they'll regenerate it and keep working with it till they get it to where they want. And you know that does take time, but at the same time, there's so much garbage that's just plopped up and out there that people are getting sick of it real quick. Of the they call it the AI slop. And YouTube is like filled with it. There's a couple of AI channels where you can tell they went in. Somebody didn't just put in a prompt, pop something out, and put it out there. They sat there and they tweaked it and they polished it first. You know, those are kind of cool. But the amount of slop out there has just gotten so obnoxious, even in the commercials.
Yeah, I remember when they came out with the Ghibli effect. Like people started doing like taking pictures or ideas and turning into the anime, you know, the Japanese anime Ghibli style. And the first couple of them that I saw, I thought, wow, this is beautiful. This is great. And then for a week, it didn't even take a week. Like after 24 hours, 48 hours, that was all you saw on Twitter. Your whole feed was Ghibli images.
Yeah, it was just like a temporary passing fad of a meme, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, didn't you even Ghiblify Sabrina?
I did. Yeah, I did as well. Yeah. But it's so easy that it becomes, like you say, kind of AI slop. I want to get into some music, but first, let me just say a quick hello to the chat. We got some people coming in. We got Saboteur here. How you doing, my man? Draw Zombies here. Wrangler, of course. We got Patrick. How you doing, Patrick? Welcome aboard. Nice to see you, my friend. Art Haida. Nice to see you, man. You forgot to turn your webcam on. Well, my webcam's on. I've just got, I'm on the art board today doing the Batman drawing. And we got Sheldon in the house. How you doing, Sheldon? You know what? Also needs more musical acts. Bitcoin Comic Cons. Right, for sure, man. We got to do some mashup Bitcoin comics and art show at some point. It's going to happen. I mean, I see art events happening in England. There's artists in pretty much all the conferences now, like in Vegas, in Montreal. It's not big yet. It's just a tiny little wall, but it's starting up. And we got Tank Ferret. How you do, sir? Nice to see you. And I think that's pretty much turn of everybody. I want to listen to a little bit of music, if you don't mind, Annonymal. Would you like? Is there a track that we should you'd like us to listen to?
You can choose anyone. Choosing between tracks for us is like choosing which children you prefer.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can choose anyone. We like them all.
Okay, so I'm sharing from wavlike.com, and I know the listeners will probably not be familiar with Wavlike. Wavlike is kind of it's a music sharing site for Bitcoiners, right? You get zapped for your songs. So each song has a number next to it. The top one has 14,000. Those are Satoshis. So people will zap you. It's kind of like a tip jar, right? So people send you tips. I think we should probably start with the number one ranked. What do you think, Wrangler?
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's good.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this one is Jim Cramer pumps CrowdStrike and dumps Bitcoin. Do you want to do a little introduction, or should we just jump into it?
Well, this...
And I would sell my Bitcoin right into this rally.
Oops, sorry.
there is one very interesting thing, because when we do the titles, we try to do the titles thinking about the people searching for these topics on the internet. So Jim Cramer was pumping CrowdStrike before CrowdStrike went down and created a whole problem for the whole planet because of some errors in their codes, because of something in Windows. I think it was a problem. And we did a song thinking about this, and this is a very funny song.
Nice. It starts with some audio extract. So let me know if the song is, if the volume is okay.
And believe me, I had been a believer one time in Bitcoin. Not here, not now. One company that seems to be immune, because it's now the king of cyber, which is CrowdStrike. Now they report June 4th. This company has yet to miss a quarter since it came public. That's the last remaining domino, and I don't think that domino is going to fall.
Damn, how is it possible you are so wrong about everything under the sun? Won't you have what come clean, if you know what I mean? Damn, did you recommend we should buy CrowdStrike? It cannot get much more intense, and the network is up in summer dance. Country paralyzed because I feel nice. Who is to blame? Who fucked around and fell down? Same piece of shit. Stinks like a feet. Damn! They do not recommend we should buy Bitcoin. Who can believe such a thing? Who can start laughing at this? It cannot get much more intense. In the mining fields of the central land, never paralyzed because after life. Who is the brave? Who checks the world in this time? The first and one and only Mr. Nakamoto. useless counselor, joker, financial advisor, hire you, a puppet of the market, ban you, leader of the masses, leading to wrong ways, liberate yourself,
Oh yeah,
That's it.
that slaps, as the kids say.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was a
Imagine
very-
if we could have dumped that right into the assets, because I mean, as awesome as it sounds, the StreamYard's famous sound compression was striking again on this one.
Oh, was it hurting the sound a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I know on your end, because you're playing it from your end, it
I don't
sounds
hear it.
perfectly fine. You don't hear the compression.
Yeah.
On the other end, there was compression, unfortunately, but it sounded like that thing rocks out.
Dude, it does. And the so the link, I'll post it in the chat, but it's all in the show notes. So you can check it out on wavlike.com/Annonymal. Do check it out. And if you've got some Bitcoin, drop them a couple of sats, send them some tips, let them know you were here. Yeah. And Art Haida asks, drum machine or are they real?
Oh, that's a great question. And it's important for you to know some things about Annonymal before we answer that. Annonymal is a 6-piece band, okay? So we are 6 people working together. But one of my ideas when I created Annonymal was to have the ability to react early to something that is happening on the market. And with this kind of situation, sometimes we use drum machines because our drummer lives 600 kilometers away from the city where the most of the guys live.
Oh, that's a long way.
Yeah, so it's not very easy for us to have the drummer with us all the time. And this technology of drum machines are very helpful as AI. We don't use AI for the songs yet. Maybe one day we're going to test a bit, but we didn't use AI to do anything musically for Annonymal. But we create these drums patterns, and then we create the song above it. So we use it because it helps us to create something right on the spot. So this problem with CrowdStrike was happening. The world was paralyzed because of that. And because of this, we make some songs in a more quick way for us to be able to talk about something that is happening right on the spot.
Right. It allows you to jump right on something that's hot and worthy, and put lyrics to a melody, a song that you've already put together, in other words.
Yeah, it's very easy to program drums nowadays. We have a lot of softwares that do this kind of stuff, and you only have to come up with the parts of the drums. It's very easy. Anyone that has a background in music can create their own drums.
I see. Well, I have no background in music, so I will trust you on that. Sheldon asks, 600 kilometers, how far is that? Could be next door. The next door is like 372 miles. I just punched that into Google, so it's a long way off. I mean, I'm in Canada, so I'm used to kilometers. It's about, I mean, on the highway, you drive 100 kilometers per hour if you observe the speed limit, which I don't. And so that would take me 6 hours to drive, which is crazy. Like last time I went to see a friend, it was 5 hours away. I thought that was far. So yeah, it's a while back. It's far.
But okay, it's very nice to have tools to create music anytime we want, anytime we can. Our drummer is coming to our city in the beginning of the next year. So we are recording our second album.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. So is there a first album out? Do you guys have albums available?
The tricky thing, Frederic, is we have more than 30 songs already published, but we didn't publish our full-length album yet. We are in the final stages of mixing and mastering the tracks.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be out probably by January, but we are already recording the second album that probably we will publish on by the end of the year.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's going to be back to back. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing any Bitcoin crowdfunding? I just came out of a financing the comic with Geyser. I raised like 1.2 million Satoshis, which don't get excited, guys. This is like $1,800. You're able to.
Yeah, probably we will use. Annonymal was one of the first projects on Geyser.
Oh, I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, we were in the first 10 projects that were shown in the website. And probably we are going to make a crowdfunding in the beginning of the next year as well.
Oh, nice. Let us know, man. If you do a crowdfund, we'll have you back on and we'll get the word out and we'll try to get some excitement around the project as well.
That's great. Please.
Oh, yeah,
please.
for sure. For sure. And I want to get my hands on that first album as well. And yeah, that's freaking cool. Is that so? I guess, are you doing like CDs? Are you doing vinyls, or is it too early to kind of think about that yet?
I want to do vinyl, but it is not very easy because it's expensive. It takes time to produce. It's a lot of things.
Yeah,
but I really want to put my hands on an Annonymal vinyl.
Oh, dude, me too. We used to have a vinyl shop right on my street. I'm not kidding you.
Yes.
But they closed about during the COVID times. Like they closed everybody down. So many shops closed in my city. It's not even recognizable.
That's
But
sad.
I know how rare it is to find a place to print vinyls. It's not an easy thing to do. Like it used to be common, but it's not as common as it used to be.
Yeah. But we really want to do it, and it will be a pleasure. Of course, most of the people will listen in the internet. There is no problem with that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But of course, if you can recreate this culture of having a physical item, listening to the whole thing, it's a richer experience than this fast passing, listening to 10 seconds and coming to another thing that people do nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have a vinyl player, but I still want the vinyl in my collection. I'll listen to it on the computer, but I'll have the vinyl. So when people come in, I can go, look at this, look at that. And eventually I'll get a nice player and I'll have the start of a collection here. That's cool, man. That's very freaking cool.
So, Frederic, how are you in your black metal scream? Someone asked.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's Art Haida asked. I cannot do black metal screams. I'm sorry, Art Haida, to disappoint. I'm sure
if you want to do it, you can do it on an Annonymal album.
Oh shit! I would rip out my chords, and it would be a pleasure. I think it would be fun. That would be freaking awesome. And is there going to be a change from the first to the second album? Has Annonymal's kind of topic, subject matter, or musical style kind of changed between the two? They're so close together, but then again, you built up the 30 tracks. Well, that's good, man, that you have 30 tracks, because you can choose like your really best tracks to put on that album.
Yeah, the thing is, Frederic, I really focused on Bitcoin-related stuff.
Oh yeah,
but
100%.
We know that Bitcoin community is very niche, and metal community as well. So our project wants to create a bridge among these two universes. But it is hard in the beginning to catch the attention of metalheads for Bitcoin content very explicitly and very direct, and and all this kind of stuff. So in the next album, there are going to be a few songs that are not specific about Bitcoin, but all the themes have something to do about it, because we are going to sing about this current dystopian topics in society, about politics and economics and AI and the future. How does it look like or not? So this is very important in the Bitcoin narratives as well. So even in the first album, there are songs that say something about Bitcoin, but not so much. For instance, there is a song called Banksters. So we sing the song, okay, and there is only one phrase where we say, oh, and Bitcoin is kicking your ass, about banksters. So you can listen to this song and you don't think it is a Bitcoin song. It is a song about banksters, gangsters,
Right.
all this kind of stuff. So we don't want to make people have this Bitcoin narrative so much absorbed in them. So we want to give them space to like what we do without being too pushy about Bitcoin. But of course, Bitcoin is the main narrative around everything we do.
Dude, like I understand 110% because it's the same with indie comics, right? Indie comics are niche and Bitcoin is niche, and I'm doing a comic that talks about Bitcoin in a way. So it's super duper niche.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not solely about Bitcoin. It's more about a character who himself is a Bitcoiner. So the main story is about the character. It's about what he goes through, and Bitcoin is just a part of his life, a part of what he does. So
Perfect.
hopefully you identify with the human aspect first, and then you might learn a thing or two haphazardly,
Yeah, and you understand perfectly because of this, because it's the same situation, it's the exact same. Because we don't want to push it in a way that people not interested in Bitcoin doesn't listen to us. But of course, we want to bring them to think about, because if you know metal has this punk influence, and punk is very much about criticizing the governments, all this kind of stuff. Is very political in nature. So Bitcoin is the perfect punk or cyberpunk message. So people in metal are very open to this kind of discussions. And of course, most of them doesn't know a thing about Bitcoin. Maybe there are some critics of Bitcoin because of politics or environmental worries or this kind of stuff. But we are going to help them to understand.
Yeah, man. And I mean, Bitcoin is cypherpunk, literally off the cypherpunk mailing list.
Yeah. We even could call Annonymal a cypherpunk metal, maybe.
Oh, dude, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Does bit metal work, or has that been used anywhere?
Bit metal. And what's I gonna? I forget what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, so I know a lot of electronic music uses sampling and things like that. Do you guys do any of sampling? Like, do you go out and sample like Bitcoin miners or things in the Bitcoin space? I know obviously you have some audio clips from the news and things like that, but what do you see in terms of sampling?
Yeah, we use Splice, I think is the name of the library we use. And yes, we use it a lot. Of course, we have a challenge to create this narrative sound for Bitcoin. Because if you think, what is the sound of a hash, of a transaction, of the blockchain, or what it is and what is not? Of course, it's open to interpretation. And yes, we can use a lot of stuff to try to create this ambience. For instance, we used the Genesis block hash to create a song.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, because if you think about it, there is so many ways to do this kind of stuff. So we took the hash from the Genesis block.
So people who don't know, the Genesis block is the first block in the Bitcoin blockchain that was hand created by Satoshi before he got the Bitcoin program running into a blockchain. So we're talking about the first ever block made.
Yeah, and every block in Bitcoin has a hash that is a signature, and you must link this hash with the sequence block for you to have a chain of blocks. This is where the term blockchain comes. And there is this huge number when you can transform it into music in so many ways. And we did a song about it. We didn't publish yet, but probably in the future, maybe we are going to release maybe an EP or even a full album with the name Genesis Block.
That just sounds like a really cool name on its own.
Yeah.
I mean, even without the context, that's just something about that catches the attention.
Yeah, because it's the beginning of a new era and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And
they
you
call
can
them,
have strong visuals, a strong song.
and well, they call Bitcoin the 4-year cycle. They call it epochs, right? So every epoch is when the block reward gets divided in half during the halving.
Yeah.
Frederic, you should start like using all these Bitcoin terms as chapter titles for your books.
I do a little bit of that. So in the story, in the comic book, all time is delineated in block height. So every time in a page where I give the time, it's always in block height. So you might not understand it first, but you can go and reference it in timechaincalendar.com. It'll give you the exact down to the 10-minute mark what time this is referring to, or you could just like vaguely understand, okay, this is before this time, this many blocks and this many blocks, but it situates you.
At least it's consistent. I used to watch Star Trek, and I'll tell you what, the original series Star Dates had no actual pattern to them.
Well, see, that's what I feel like. It's going to put people in a sci-fi mindset. Like, even if you don't know what a block height is, what a time chain is, you're thrown into this kind of numbered space, which has a very sci-fi kind of feel to it. Yeah. But it's actually based in reality. You can actually verify each one, which is fascinating stuff, to me at least. Can we listen up to another song, Annonymal? Yeah, do you think we could do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Tania Barros, 1934, is requesting the Arrow of Time.
Oh, there's a request?
Yeah.
The Arrow of Time? Which one is that?
This person says it's their favorite Annonymal song.
Hold on. Okay. Oh, I see here. Please play Annonymal favorite song, The Arrow of Time. Is it in the wavlike? The Arrow.
Yeah, yeah. If you go down there, you will find it. This one with the watch art, yellow art. Oh. Yeah, this one.
The Arrow of Time. All right, let's listen to this one. We've got a special request already. That's pretty cool.
The arrow of time goes in my hand, never flowing on my face, moves like the sun. Your fingers clench, it slips away, leaving behind all yesterdays. Mining on time and an endless digital maze of zeros and ones, nothing more, by which we create everything. We can part the skies and the freedom to each real way. We're not looking back anyways. Are never more to be one of the slaves. If one look forward to stop us, he will see it cannot be done. Embrace the desire to suppress institutions based on fraud. Don't trust, verify. Come along to win the wars. The arrow of time goes in one hand. The flowing of faith moves like the sand. Two fingers blank, it slips away, leaving behind all yesterday. The chaos of now is the climax of fall far away. Mine is the voice that's too hard. This momentum invites to awake. If one look forward to blind us, he will see it cannot be done. Embrace the desire to suppress institutions that feed on war. Don't trust, verify. Come along, the master front. The arrow of time goes in one hand. The flowing of faith moves like the sand. Two fingers blank, it slips away, leaving behind all yesterday. True, erasing our things, establishing truth, calling us to reason. And all the time goes in one hand. The flowing of faith moves like the sand. Two fingers blank, it slips away, leaving behind all yesterday. Something is underlying.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanya Barrows. Thank you for this is the first song request we've ever had on this show, so feels a little
Great.
special. Thank you for that. Awesome piece, man. Yeah, you got some Bitcoin memes there, like "Don't trust, verify." I mean that even goes before Bitcoin. I think that's an old open source hacker kind of mentality.
I was thinking that. I thought that was originally stated by Ronald Reagan back in the 80s. Oh no, he said trust but verify.
Really?
That's a little different.
Is that so?
Yeah. So slightly different, but a similar idea.
And this encapsulates a lot of what we were talking before. You have this mentions about Bitcoin here and there, but in this song, we don't have a mention to Bitcoin. You must know about it for you to know that it speaks about it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's the tell me about Bitcoin without telling me about Bitcoin kind of a thing.
Yeah, and the idea is that we mine our time in this endless digital maze, made of zeros and ones, nothing more, by which we create everything.
I do like though that you're able to make a song that can resonate with people who know nothing about it, and then it can come to mean so much more once they learn a little bit of the lore.
Yeah, this is the idea, because you don't want to say, oh, Bitcoin is great, blah, blah, blah. No. You can hide a bit of the message. So when people understand what you're talking about, they have this sensation of discovering it.
Yeah. It's fascinating sometimes how Bitcoin projects can tend to orange pill in the most surprising ways, right? Like people have been I've been on this comic book tour for about 3 months and did last Saturday, but like there was times where I was explaining Geyser to people who were completely in the fiat space, right? They knew nothing about Bitcoin, but some of them were like, oh, this is interesting. I think I'm going to create a Geyser account just to back you on that. I want to back you on that crowdfunding site instead of the FundMyComic crowdfunding, because I really like the interesting Bitcoin aspect that you've got to your story. So there's small ways which you can orange pill people with your story, with your passion, with your.
And people think, oh, Bitcoin is so expensive, but people are giving it for free. How does it work?
Yeah, dude, I get Bitcoin for free every day. Like I go on NOSTR. So people who don't know, NOSTR is kind of a Bitcoin Twitter version. And I post memes, and on there, instead of giving you just likes, people can zap you sats, exactly like on wavlike. So you have a button. If your wallet is set up, you can just hit the button and send like micro amounts. Like sometimes people send $1, sometimes they send less than a penny. You can send fractions of a penny, like 21 sats. It's incredible. It's the future of microtransactions in a good way, not the stupid video game way.
Not the video game price gouge way.
But it's fascinating stuff. Has that affected you in any way? Like, what do you get from wavlike? What's been the kind of how do you see the business side of music with Bitcoin? If I can ask such a broad question.
Yeah, this is a very broad question, but the idea is Bitcoin will transform how people interact with each other, and music will be a part of it. Of course, there will be rich people, there will be poor people, there will be scammers, there will be people that use this in a legit way. So the business side is very important, because if you don't make money from what you do, you're probably not going to be able to do it as a profession, as something you can put all your time and effort into it. So it's important for people to support projects and bands and groups or comics or anything. But how do you create this kind of demand? It's not easy. I think people cannot believe that there is free or easy money on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the hardest money on earth. Bitcoin is a revolution. Bitcoin is a technology. Bitcoin is an innovation. And there is not easy or free money in the space, but there is a lot of room to create value and to receive value. We have this value for value mentality. So you create something thinking about how can you make Bitcoin better or best known or more used or all this kind of stuff. The community will see your efforts and will reward you. This reward can be very generous or can be very few money, few cents, few satoshis. But the real revolution is not the amount of money we do, is that we are capable of receiving 1 Satoshi from Japan, 2 Satoshis from France, 10 Satoshis from Brazil, 2 Satoshis from US. And this is a revolution because it would be impossible for us to transact so little money around the globe. But now we are
You
able
can't
to
send a fraction of a cent through a credit card because the fees will be more than what you're sending. And when you have something that touches a lot of people, like if you have a song or a piece of artwork that goes viral, then if everyone sends you a small amount, that amounts to something big on your end. It can change your day, it can change your plans, it can improve your life, even if people are sending you small amounts, but you touch a lot of people's lives, that is a transformative event as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the idea is not to be a burden for anyone. Oh, I did a song, so send me $10,000. No, this is not it. But the idea is to receive small rewards from a lot of people. And when so many people will do it, they will have this effect as you described.
Yeah.
But of course, the business side of music, it's very hard because music is something that has no value for a lot of people, especially after the internet. They broke more or less the economics of it as it was before. So nowadays you have all the musics for free in the internet, and most musicians don't do a lot of good money in the space besides touring and making live presentations. You have to have a huge amount of streaming to make some money from the internet. So most of the people in the space, they have to make live presentations to sell tickets and sell merch and this kind of thing to be able to make money from music. So music turned away from what it was before to another thing. Bitcoin can help us to recreate communities, recreate a culture of listening to music, or even to make physical copies. Someone said on the comments, "Oh, make cassettes as well, not only vinyl." Yes,
that is retro, but it might work. There's actually a small niche market for that type of stuff.
There is. Cassettes are very beautiful and very nostalgic in many ways.
And so, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, and it's not very easy for us to transform the music business with Bitcoin, as it's not easy to transform oil business or food or many things. But it's possible, and we are so early into Bitcoin, and we are only going to reap the souls that we are sowing today in the future, maybe in 10 years or 20 years or even more. Even this is one of the reasons why Annonymal is Annonymal, because when we get old, we can substitute ourselves with younger musicians as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because it's a completely anonymous band.
Yeah.
You're not selling the identity of the musicians or even the creators. So it reminds me of a little bit like one of the bands I really liked the concept of was Gorillaz, because Gorillaz was designed by a comic book artist. I don't know if you know that, but
no, I didn't know it.
So Jamie Hewlett is with the musician. They came together. They created the band as a duo. He did the visuals, and he's the guy who created Tank Girl. So Tank Girl is one of the most interesting comic books. It's very punk, very indie comics vibes to it as well. I mean, he created the character on LSD, just to give you an idea. So it's very rock and roll in terms of comic books. And they made a movie about it and all that. And yeah, I think it was the singer for Blur, I believe, or I might be mistaken, but they came together, they created Gorillaz, and that was a thing for a long time. And it's a little bit the same thing. It's not the musicians they're putting forward, more like the comic book personalities that are kind of drawn on, as in different representations. It's 2D animations on screen, and then when they do shows, they have huge 3D holograms as well that are on stage. So they do a lot of funky stuff, very experimental and innovative.
Yeah, Annonymal has the idea of being a very technological group in the future. Of course, these things demand money and investment. It's not easy to do it. You have nowadays a lot of very high-tech shows out there in music in general, and even in metal. So Annonymal aims to be one of these groups in the future. Of course, it's not easy to put it together, because you really have to have a demand for people to listen to you, to go to your shows, for you to have money, for you to build this infrastructure. But of course, Gorillas is a very interesting use case for us to learn a few things and to absorb some things from what they do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And on the business side of things, it's always funny because, like people say that, even Batman, like what makes money for Batman is not the Batman comics or the Batman movies. It's the freaking t-shirts, right? It's the side stuff. So it's the promotional stuff. Like I would totally wear an Annonymal t-shirt. Like, I don't know if you guys have those yet, but I want one.
We already have some.
Okay, I'll order some from you. I'll have to find out where I could do that.
Okay.
But that's freaking awesome. Yeah, so you have to be a little creative with this stuff sometimes. Sometimes you get your money not from directly from the product you're providing, but from something that represents the product and gives people the opportunity to kind of signal that they support you, or signal their adherence to your band, to their love and passion to it.
Yeah, for sure. And there is so many things it's possible for a Bitcoin company or a Bitcoin group to create in this kind of thing, because with 3D printers nowadays, you can create anything.
Yeah.
From to daily to day use with your brand and with this concept. So it's not hard to do. Of course, it's not easy to have a broad audience to buy stuff. So this is not easy to create. But once you have people enough to listen, to buy this kind of stuff, it's probably you're going to make more money there than through streaming and music and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, 3D printers. I've got 2 3D printers here, like not the filament kind, but the what do you call it? The liquid gray goo kind, which I use for miniatures. I did a lot of Warhammer 40K gaming a couple of years ago, and I just love that stuff, dude. You could go on the internet, buy your 3D model instantly, like $5, give me the model, go to your 3D printer, set up the stuff. And within an hour, you have your figure right in your living room, man. It's so instantaneous. It's so crazy. And you can build an army of it. If you like it, you just keep printing it over and over again. And you have it's so powerful what you can do now.
One day, there was this guy. He has this company called Crypto Cloaks. I don't know if you know.
Of course. Yeah. He's very present on Twitter. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And this guy made this tweet saying some things about Bitcoin price falling down and Bitcoin communities being built differently because we don't care so much about the price and everything. And we took this tweet from him and we created a song.
Really?
Yeah. He is the author of one of Annonymal's lyrics. That's very interesting, this kind of interaction you can have, because the person who writes that tweet to be a song. He wrote that tweet because he wanted to express these ideas, and we took it from him and said, I remember that I wrote, this is a musical request. And he said, go for it. And we did this song, and this song is available. It's called We'll Take Our Odds. Is this with the cards?
It's right here with the cards. Yeah. Should we listen to it? Is that a good time?
You can go, for sure.
Sounds like a good segue to listen to another song. Welcome, Kahuna. I hope you're having fun, man. We've got a musical guest tonight, and we're about to play a song called We'll Take Our Odds, which was inspired by a tweet. Here we go.
You will never shake these hands. You'll never make me follow your demands. Within things, repeat your face. Why you crying so at 10% debt? We laughing harder at 80% debts. Our freedom money communities built differently. We have no other options. Fiat is dead. Markets are fake. We'll take care of us. Bitcoin. You will never shake his hands. You'll never make me follow your demands. We're safe things, we're better things. Why you crying so at 10% dips? We laughing auto at 80% dips. Our freedom money communities built differently. We have no other options. Fiat is dead. Markets are fake. We'll take our odds. Bitcoin.
So this is how communities build songs without knowing it.
Yeah, I like the sound of that one best so far.
Oh, I was muted.
Oh, that's great. Like to enjoy it. Not every Annonymal song is very fast and heavy. We try to be open to more broad audiences as well.
And was this another example of the songs already being in the can, and then you got an inspiration, and then you put the lyrics to a pre-existing song, or did you just compose it?
No, the way it went, I read the tweet from Crypto Cloaks, and I immediately took my acoustic guitar and I started to play some chords and to read the lyrics and everything. I just made a small change to his original text because I needed one phrase to rhyme with the first one. So the idea was to create, his tweet said, "You will never shake these hands. We've seen things, we've been through things. While you cry at 10% dips, we laugh and huddle at 80% dips." So I added a phrase, "You'll never make me follow your demands," to rhyme with hands.
Oh, okay.
This was the only adaptation I did from his tweet. So I took this acoustic guitar and I started jamming with his lyrics. And in half an hour, I brought it together.
Okay, so you don't need to have all the songs written. You can like spontaneously kind of.
Oh, that's for sure. Musicians are able to do a lot of stuff from improvisation, all this kind of stuff that it is very ingrained in learning music. One of the things is to improvise. And I am an improviser myself. I like to do stuff, and not in a methodical way, but improvising and seeing how it sounds. And I'm very happy with the results of this one.
Nice. And you were saying you're getting your band together and you're practicing. Are you going to be doing shows in the coming year with your you got 2 albums coming out? You've got to be doing shows, right?
Yeah, for sure. Annonymal made its first show. It's been more or less 1 month ago. We did our first presentation and we recorded it, and we are going to release probably in January the first Annonymal show ever. We even played this song, We'll Take Our Odds.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And it was a very nice experience. So people in few days or few weeks are going to be able to see an Annonymal live presentation on the internet.
Nice. So how do you stay anonymous on the stage? Do you have masks like, well, there's other bands who have precedence, right, with masks and stuff?
Yeah, we use masks and makeups and this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Has that ever become a problem with, as far as singing, the microphones, picking up the sound properly, any muffle issues?
Well, it's not easy to sing, especially using masks. So what I did with my mask is I took the half of it out and I just used the half, and the other half of my face was with makeup. So I was able to sing with no problem. The singer of the band, he didn't use a mask. He just make makeup in his whole face for him to be irrecognizable.
And
Maybe get the Batman cowl.
Yeah. You must try things. Of course, it's not easy, but we could handle it. And in the future, what we really want is to have this cinematic makeups and figurines, all this kind of stuff. It's a bit expensive to do, but in the future, if we are able to do, we want really to present as cinema characters, this kind of thing.
very theatrical in a way.
Yeah, very theatrical.
And how did you put the band together? Because you're the kind of originating band member, right? If I understand, you're the main creator, you're writing the songs, you're putting the band together.
Yeah.
How did you find all the other members of the band? Are they all Bitcoiners, or did you orange pill them along the way? What's their relationship to Bitcoin?
When I had the idea to create Annonymal, I had these problems to find other people that liked metal and that liked Bitcoin. And it was not easy because it's two niches, very small, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But what I did is I went to friends that I knew that were very good musicians, and I explained to them the concept of Bitcoin and the concept of Annonymal. Of course, they are more interested in the musical side than in Bitcoin itself. But all of them, of course, they embraced Bitcoin. They read books about it. They saw podcasts. They are learning everything about it. So they are together with me, because if you don't believe in Bitcoin, you cannot be a part of Annonymal, because Annonymal is not just a product. Annonymal, you must really believe in what you do for you to really capture what Bitcoin aims to be in society and transform into music. So people must understand this relationship, because on my side, what I view is heavy metal is the perfect soundtrack for Bitcoin, because it has this aggressiveness, it has this rawness, it has this punk side. It has also the technological side because of the distortion of the electronic elements, all this kind of stuff. And the guys understand it very well, and all of them are together with me. Of course, I'm the main writer. Of course, I take the lead in this kind of stuff. But they are all together, and none of them are non-believers in Bitcoin or anything like that. No shitcoiners.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. Any shitcoiners?
No.
Out of the group. You're kicked to the curb. You're no longer part of Annonymal. You shitcoiner.
In the beginning, one of the guys wanted to explore, I heard this about NFTs and all about these other currencies. Why we don't do a currency for Annonymal? I said to him, man, you're not getting it, okay? Annonymal stands against this kind of stuff, and he said, well, but why? And then I explained to him that most of the projects outside Bitcoin are a distraction. They are not fulfilling a need. They are just trying to cash out on these schemes and this kind of stuff. And Annonymal aims to be a Bitcoin-only project. We are never going to create a currency or a coin, a meme coin. We are never going to use this kind of stuff. We are only here to promote Bitcoin philosophy, Bitcoin history, Bitcoin mission. And once the guys understood it, they embrace it and then are okay with it.
Oh, that's cool, man. Like I feel the same way. There's so many parallels between your project and mine along those philosophies. Because I was going to do the colors myself. It turns out I'm not very good at it. But then I found a colorist on Twitter. I found a ton of colorists on Twitter, but one day I found one that in his bio it said Node Runner. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. This is interesting. This is good. And so, you know, it checks out. He's a Bitcoiner, runs a node. So I approach him. I look at his artwork, beautiful colors. I ask him, are you a Bitcoiner? Are you available for work? And he says, well, obviously depends on the project. I tell him about Ratel. And he's like, okay, that sounds good. So I ask him, do you accept Bitcoin as payment? He says, well, Bitcoin preferred. I'm like, okay, now you're talking, man. It's like, you're right. Perfect for the project. So I've had even artists who wanted to work on the project, like for covers and, you know, supplemental art and stuff like that. And I was open to it, but I asked them, are you open to payment in Bitcoin? Because that's kind of the philosophy of the project. And so far, no one's accepted Bitcoin. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it myself for now. But if I find an artist open to taking Bitcoin payments, then we can start talking and making it work. But it's an important part of the philosophy. You have to live it, right? It's not just a surface color of paint. It's right down to the roots. It's in our blood. When you understand how the problems of money have ruined society and that there's a solution that makes things better, you kind of live and breathe that solution. Am I making too much of it, or do you feel the same way?
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things that I'm doing today is teaching the guys to don't focus so much on price. Because when we started Annonymal in 2022, we only had this big increase in price and everything. And the guys are very excited. Whoa, this is going up forever. This is so great. And now Bitcoin is falling. I'm using this idea to help them to see that it's not easy money. It's not free money. It's not without its burdens or problems. It's a system that is not ready to take over the world yet. The Bitcoin space must develop, must increase, must mature. It's not something that is ready. It's a very software mentality where you upgrade every time. You try to do things in the best way. And this is important for them to understand, because when people only focus on price, oh, this Bitcoin thing went down 30%. Whoa, what a scam! What a shit! No, we went up 1,000%.
Yeah, right.
It's not 30% that is going to do anything. When I first met Bitcoin was, I think it was $5,000 per coin. And people say, no, the space is ended. Now it is in 90,000. Oh, man, give me a break.
Yeah, it's dead, right? It's been dead. I checked this week. It's been declared dead 477 times.
Yeah, this might turn to a song as well, because this is a very interesting Bitcoin obituary or something like this.
Dead again. Yeah, Bitcoin obituaries. And it's funny because I'm in a circle of indie comics creators they're called Comicsgate, right?
Okay.
And we get the same thing. People say Comicsgate is dead. No one is financing you. It's blah, blah, blah. And then we come in and when we finance our project, and there's so many overlapping values. Like there's a bit of conservatism, there's a bit of anti-censorship, there's a bit of do-it-yourself, there's a bit of owning the means of production yourself in a way. Corey Barton asks, "Is Bitcoin is dead?" See, Corey is one of the artists I'm trying to convince to get into Bitcoin, because he's a really good artist down in Australia. But he's asking questions. He's curious, and I respect that. I think it's cool. You got to start by asking questions. I don't tell people to buy Bitcoin. I tell people learn about it, because if you just buy it, as soon as it goes up or it goes down, you're going to sell it and be scared. But if you understand it, if you learn about it, then you're going to want some, and then you're going to know why you want some, right?
Yeah. And most important thing than buying Bitcoin is really understanding the problem is solved. Because buying it as a stock, as a gamble, it's not very interesting, not revolutionary in any way. But when you understand inflation problem, taxation problem, politics problem, the idea that people has this authority to print money out of nothing and to devalue everything we have, it's a very pessimistic and a very dark thing for you to grasp in the world. And Bitcoin solves this problem. This is the main problem. This is the focus on Bitcoin itself. And the idea, it's not to turn $10 into $20. Oh, how smart I am. No, it's to really have a currency in the internet with a traceable security thing that it was not hacked, it was not compromised in any way, it has value, it has utility, and you can use it to really create a different society, to escape inflation. This is unimaginable valuable. And this is what people must understand. It's not about turning $10 into $100. It's about not to use dollars in the future.
Yeah. I like that. I have a lot of comic book guests, but I don't have a lot of Bitcoin guests. So I'm always very excited, very thrilled when I have a Bitcoiner on. I had Eric from Coin Lords in, I think it was last month. He's doing a comic book as well.
Nice.
Oh, we got our another co-host here. James, our legal lizard, is here. Welcome, James. How you doing, man?
Hello, friends. How goes? Who would like some XRP, the premium coin in the
There, that was James. Sorry, we lost you, James.
Aha! See how afraid they are of the truth.
So, James, you got into Bitcoin recently, right? You weren't into it for a very long time. You kind of just
dabbling in it for maybe 3 or 4 years now. I like the crypto market. I thought it was very interesting to look at, and when I seen the sort of like waning of the dollar, I knew that had to kind of move the savings into something a bit more sustainable. And crypto's been around, like I've seen it since the beginning, in the zeitgeist since I was like 15 years old. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It seems to both sustain its value and increase. Sure, it fluctuates, but nowhere near as much as the dollar does. So I thought, hey, this is just a generally safer bet. So I moved all my savings over to the big Bitcoin.
Yeah. And so Annonymal James is one of our most AI enthusiasts here, because he's been doing a lot of music with Juno, right?
Suno. Yes. Suno? Don't hate me.
No, I think he's open to the idea. We were just talking about AI stuff, because Annonymal uses AI for some song art, some, as well, some video stuff as well. Yeah. So he's not close to the idea. And he's even considering maybe AI in the future, but he hasn't used it for music so far.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I really open to idea to use Suno, but not in a sloppy way, or not in a way that creates the songs for me. I want to make this as a partner for having ideas or taking something out of it, not for Suno to make my job, but to help me in any way. I'm very open to this.
Yeah, AI tools are really getting adopted for a reason, and it's because they increase the manpower. It's the easiest way I
Yeah.
can put it. They do the job of humans. They don't do the complete job of humans. You can't just let it control everything. It needs a human touch and a human element to refine its mistakes, because there are those, but it also has the inbuilt tools to fix those mistakes.
Yeah. And it's very interesting what people are doing. Of course, there was this lawsuit thing. They settled with the big companies. I'm following a bit about it. I think they will reset their product in the near future to be able to keep up with this innovation and the musical side with the big companies and this kind of stuff. And I'm very interested to see where this is going.
Yes. I expect the bigger companies, particularly the industrialites, to use it to abuse it, basically. But my eyes are on the independent sphere, because that's where I see a lot of like more studio-based stuff. It's going to come from much more smaller teams, pretty much across the board, from like music, film, video games, you name it. I actually think the only one that may sustain the way it is may be comic books, because there's an appreciation, a value in human creation across all mediums. But from what I've seen it so far, the appreciation of the human element, that 100% human made, has really stayed within the comic book sphere. It's still revered beyond AI, and I think it's actually gonna sort of stay that way for the long run. Probably not for say like the big companies like Marvel and DC, but I think in the independent sphere, that's going to be the one that doesn't really adopt.
Well, it's
AI.
interesting you say that, because Marvel and DC did DC specifically put out a statement recently, and they're shying away from AI. But the reason is, apparently you cannot copyright something that was entirely created with AI. So
Yeah.
they would have problems putting out work that was not copyrightable, in other words.
That's true. Yeah, that's true, because AI, it follows your instructions more like, I guess, heavily influential suggestions. But because you can't 100% get exactly what your imagination wants,
Yeah.
it leaves this sort of gray area where the machine is still the one creating. You're just sort of trying to dictate what happens to the best of your ability. But because you don't have 100% influence, that's where that whole non-copyright element comes in, which I personally don't mind. But of course, I'm like an independent, so of course I don't mind.
Yeah. But that's a very interesting discussion, because on the legal side, this will be a nightmare, I think. And people are figuring out how they will handle this. And it's not an easy task. Who is the creator? Who has the rights? Who can explore this economically and all this kind of stuff? But for independent artists, it's not so much about this. It's how to express yourself and to turn your ideas into something real to the world in a very effective and easy and fast way.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it really comes down to the difference between heart and soul versus a committee of boardroom execs trying to make a buck. Like,
Right.
They'll put out whatever they can in the cheapest way possible. Whereas an indie with AI is like they got a vision and they're just trying to make it come to life. One example, let's go back to Suno for a minute. James showed me how to use Suno, and I tried a couple things. I noticed, like, when I say, hey, give me lyrics for a song, I want it to be about this, about that, and the other, and hit generate. And sometimes something cool can pop out of that. But for the most part, I was getting a word salad with some all right sounding music. But when I sat down and took a couple hours and wrote out the lyrics myself and then fed those into Suno, I got something so much better. So the more work you put into it, the better a result you'll get. Whereas others, like some companies might use it to cut down on costs rather than just make a better product.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's very interesting that you brought up that current comment about AI slop. That's the general sentiment across the board right now, that they don't like AI. But, for a large portion of it, from my own experience, like I said, it really comes down to the creator and what they produce with it.
I'd like to play your trailer, James, to show it to Annonymal here, because James has put together a musical trailer that's also video, and it's all AI made, but it's to promote his writings, his short stories.
Nice.
The only thing not AI is the text. Everything short of the text besides that is all AI.
Okay, let's take a look. I'm always open to.
Here we go.
Through hollow night, our voices soar. We roam no more, our spirits roar. In dust and shield, our hearts burn free. We sing the spark of destiny. No throne, no crown, no gilded lore. Our own free sounds forevermore. Against the tide, we stand as one. Our crow will echo when dark is done.
Of course, that last part isn't AI either. That was Frederic's artwork.
Yes.
Yeah, Frederic, the cover art for it. Good stuff.
That's beautiful. It's impossible to deny the value of this technology.
Yeah. I mean, before this, let's go back 4 years. This technology didn't really exist. I
Yeah.
probably could not do that. At best, I could probably get someone to draw some line art for me, and I'd move the line art across the screen on a white background to kind of put the text over it, but you would not get full-blown animation like that.
Just 1 year ago, people had 7 fingers, 3 arms, no legs, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And if it ever does get out of control, we'll just have Max Headroom set it straight.
Plus, like the arguments around legality and things like this, I've been recently studying a lot more radio, because in sort of like the radio drama side of things, radio theater, because I really like listening to those. I started writing to produce my own, and I do have some questions regarding particular gear that you'd recommend for vocals. But I've been reading into it, looking sort of like in the appreciation section, bought some books that go heavily on that. And one thing I realized is back then they had the same conversations we're having now. The difference was it was radio, this new way of literally recording what people say that did not exist before, and the live theater. There were people in live theater that would say, no, I don't listen to radio because radio is not real theater. Not only live theater. There were actors. That would say, I don't work in theaters who use radio. You can't record my voice. I only work at theaters who they don't use radio. They don't record anything. Like it's very much of the times. The same conversations fit around the time back then, and we're having them again. So that's pretty crazy. Seeing it kind of like mirroring that time, but I think that's a sign of a new age approaching, or at least a new medium of creation approaching.
There was even a song by the Bugles back in 1979 that was kind of along the same lines. It was called "Video Killed the Radio Star."
I remember that one.
I remember in art school we were having the same conversations, except it was about Photoshop. Right, artists were saying, "Oh, you can't use Photoshop. It's cheating. It's computers. Computers can't make art. It's just digital. It's cold. And we were talking just about Photoshop. Now Photoshop is accepted. Pretty much everyone is on par that it's about the artist behind the software. But the conversation seems very similar. But AI, people have strong opinions about it, and I can respect the opinions too. Like I can understand, like I get pissed off when I see an AI comic. So I understand there's a line for everybody.
I think my strongest opinion on AI right now is I don't think it should be called AI because it's not really AI. It's I mean, it's computer programs, but I mean, it's not self-aware, self-actuating. I mentioned short circuit earlier in the program with that whole thing where he says it just runs programs. It's like they don't laugh at your jokes. I mean, some of them are programmed to display, humor and act like it, but I mean, it has no idea it really even exists. It's just a machine. It just runs programs. It doesn't have imagination. It doesn't have feelings. None of that. AI would be something, from what I understand, actually self-aware, would have its own aspirations and all that. But none of that exists in this. It's just running programs.
Yeah, perfect. It's funny that James brought 4 years before there wasn't this technology, because Annonymal was born more or less 4 years ago. And it's very interesting to see because, especially with my use of Midjourney, we created so much thing, even in this screen that you have right there. Most of these arts were created through Midjourney. And it's a way to express anonymity or Bitcoin or gambling or playing music and future and all this kind of stuff. Then it's very, very interesting, very, very easy, very nice. And of course, people must be educated about the real nature of what we call AI. I totally with Angler with this, because people don't understand what is a computer or a software or how these LLMs they work and all this kind of stuff. And people must be educated because you have this usage of this technology with psychological terror being created and religious ideas and all this kind of stuff that can be very harmful, and people must be educated on this.
Definitely. There's a lot of crazy stuff you can do with it. It's only getting better as it goes. And yeah, it's not real AI, but I also believe that quote unquote real AI is going to be closer to what we know the LLMs to be rather than what we envision it in our mind. A real AI will be able to compute, and maybe to some degree there will be self-awareness, but it's that awareness is going to be under control. Every aspect of it can be tweaked with and messed with, and its own knowledge base is going to be based upon what we, let's say the engineer, tells it what it can do. For instance, an AI may not even be aware of the concept of being self-aware without its engineer telling it and informing it what's being self-aware is. This is the very interesting thing, is like what we're messing with right now is actually just something that's going like smart enough to go across the internet with a question and browse dozens, hundreds of websites in seconds, and then look for associated reasoning and information, and then composing a answer for you based off of that information it found as best it can. It's almost like a super duper database / copy machine, where it can just take things that exist, inform itself as best it can, and then try to produce something functional.
Oh, man, the best use I found of AI was when I had to go through government websites, which is the worst, to get some information I needed. Okay, what's the process to renew this thing here? And where can I get the phone numbers? And when you go through those websites, you're just spending hours and hours, and in circle, it's like a labyrinth. And asking that to Grok, boom, gives you the exact information, only the information you want, the phone numbers, and you're done.
Now, perhaps this is oversimplifying it by a large margin, but I think of it as you may ask it a question or make a request, and it'll take what you asked, find as much relevant data as it can out on the web, and then funnel it through a very complex flow chart and spit out a calculation.
Something similar to that, but in the complex level, it also understands language and can curate its language to that calculation, which is that they're bringing in a lot there.
Yeah, and it does seem to have a lot of the parameters for nuance do seem to be getting better with them too.
Yeah. But speaking of AI, you mentioned you use Midjourney. How far did you go with Midjourney? Because that's been my primary tool, and I've managed to do a lot, and I mean a lot of crazy shit with Midjourney.
Well, I started paying Midjourney as soon as they started. So I saw the evolution in their tool. It's impressive. But I'm not a nerd, a geek to explore all its features because there's a lot of things there. But I'm very happy with the results. And I did videos. I did, I think, 20,000 images up to this point.
Nice.
Maybe even a bit more than this at this point. And it's very interesting. I'm trying to, at this point, I'm making a video about quantum physics with Midjourney. It's very beautiful. It's very interesting to see how it works. Of course, I need to spend more time learning the deepest tricks. But I think my use is very superficial yet, but I really want to dive deeper in the future.
Yeah, that's been my number one tool, and I predict within the next 5 to 10 years, it is going to be a major competitor if it already isn't, or completely take the spot of Photoshop within the industry, because I have Photoshop. Its AI is nowhere near as good as Midjourney, and slowly Midjourney adds in more and more tools to compensate for that stuff. And one of the most impressive tools I've seen in it has been its retexture tool, where I can upload an image. I did this, I think I showed it off a couple of times, where I would take a in-game snapshot of a video game that I was playing. I'd upload it into Midjourney. Then I would sample an old black and white broken photo, and Midjourney would try to retexture my image to make it look like that black and white photo style, but keep all the elements of my gameplay or my screenshot. And it was actually pretty good. Like, it came out with some pretty good stuff.
Yes, Midjourney is one of my favs in this space for sure.
Yeah, that one, it revolutionized self graphic design.
You talk about AI versus Photoshop, but AI is a part of Photoshop now. Like, I know, I use Krita. Krita has you can install your own AI on your Linux, on your laptop, and so you can therefore use AI as part. You can have a selection. You can say, okay, replace the background, give me some AI here, and you can actually use AI as part of the creative process of a painting tool now.
And I always thought of Photoshop as just a more refined MS Paint.
It's got a lot of features.
I mean, everything is just a version of what came before. I mean, look at binary code that runs our digital world we got these days. How different is it really from Morse code, dot dash or ones and zeros? I mean, it's almost the same principle.
I'd say inspired, if not reinvented through old elements. Going back to the radio drama example, it was heavily influenced by live theater. And while doing my studies, I found out the most closest art form to it is indeed live theater. They write their scripts extremely similar to each other.
You bring up a good point, because a lot of new technologies tend to just copy the old technologies in the beginning before they kind of find their own unique, what makes them unique, gives them their strengths and individuality at first.
And I know I brought this up before, but how many times have people been years ago, they were watching Star Trek and they'd see them in the show say, computer, do this or figure that out. And it does it. And everyone's like, oh, I cannot wait till we have computers that can do that. And now that we have computers that can do that, they're all saying, it's the devil.
Well, because it depends. You either have the Star Trek computer or you have the, Cyberdyne from Terminator. So it depends.
Yeah, but
which one you're
imagine the
gonna get.
video games that Cyberdyne and Skynet could make.
Oh, we're about to find out, I'm afraid.
I don't know if we're going to like it, but we're going to find out.
We're getting close to the end of the show. I would like to play one last song from your repertoire, Annonymal, if you don't mind. Do you have a suggestion to close out the show for one of your songs? Is there one song that stands out to you that you'd like us to listen to before we close out?
Down there, you can find the song "The Soul Behind the Mask."
It's right here. It's the last one here.
You can pick this one because it's a very interesting song on my point of view.
All right.
The idea of the song is Satoshi is singing in first person.
Oh, okay. So we have the creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, singing in first person in The Soul Behind the Mask.
I am the soul behind the mask, but my secrets are revealed. Wrote them all in PDF and spread them for free to anyone willing and able to read. I'm a kind of ancient times. I am the first of a kind. The uncoming walking behind. I have heard the rule of sin. I am the hands behind the wheel. When our forces are applied to change the world, I have the reasons and the will to make it strong. Against all censorship and murder planning war. I am the cow behind the deck, against which they never will prevail. I am the ghost behind their back, a faceless doctor that finishes with the way.
Nice. Rock on.
That was wicked awesome.
Hey.
I loved how it had that bluesy Badlands soundish to it, and then it built up into a full blown adrenaline rush.
Great.
Kick ass, definitely.
Sick.
And this is one of the songs we don't speak about Bitcoin, but when you understand it, it makes so much sense.
I love it. It's perfect that way.
Nice.
Check it out on wavlike.com, folks. Is that .com? Yeah, wavlike.com, and search for Annonymal. And we're about to enter a shill time, folks. So here we go.
Before we begin shill time, there's one last thing I want to share. And some of you know I actually work in I'm a video editor, and I primarily work in do true crime videos for various folks online. This is a picture, and one of the only pictures of a survivor from a serial killer in Alaska. Her name is Sydney Polson. And the reason I bring this photo up is because another thing that AI helps us out with is to make things a bit clearer. This is the only photo, one of the only photos. I say one of because I have never seen another photo of her. And every single source I find uses only this photo. And using AI, we did our best to recreate her. All right. This is a 100% AI recreation, taking samples from the photo you just seen to do our best to recreate her face.
Fascinating. Yeah. And you can artificially age her as well, things like that.
Yeah, it's probably possible. Yeah, we did our best. We make it clear. There's watermarks on this in the video it's premiered in that this is all AI, but we decided to go this route because she has one hell of a story. She was kidnapped by a serial killer, fully intent to kill her, and I believe he was known as the Alaskan butcher baker. He would essentially kidnap women, take them into the remote parts of Alaska, and then manhunt them, send them out there to run, and then he'd shoot them in the back with his rifle. And she was the only survivor. She managed to escape from his grasp and finally turn him in. This was, I believe, around the 80s. It's a pretty crazy story, but this is kind of as close as we're getting to a clear picture of her, as the only photo we had was, once again, this photo right here.
Well, I'm glad to hear she survived.
Oh yeah, one hell of a story.
Yeah, that photo's
there's
really
another
blurry. Yeah, it's good to have one that's not so blurry.
Exactly. Like, we tell people it's AI, but there's just it pulls the features ridiculously well. So that's another use of AI right there, is photo recreation. So that's just something I want to show off there.
Nice. Well, thank you for that, James.
Yes, sirs.
Very nice.
And now it's shill time.
fucking shit!
Oh, there they are. Look at these gorgeous sons of bitches.
Yeah. And we'll start tonight with our guest, Annonymal. Can you tell us what you're working on now and where can people find you? So where can people find your music, get in touch with you, all that good stuff. And of course, your links are in the description. So the wavlike site and your NOSTR address is also listed in the description.
Yeah, that's perfect. We are working in the next weeks in ending the process of publishing our first album and starting to record the second album. So it's been a busy time these next weeks, but we are very happy to have you taking a look at Wavlake or Twitter or YouTube or whatever way you can reach to us on NOSTR. And it will be a pleasure to talk to you, to receive your feedback. And we are going to keep making the best heavy metal Bitcoin band in the world.
Nice. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for coming on today. It was a real pleasure, an interesting conversation, very insightful.
My pleasure, man.
And Wrangler, I guess we'll go with you next, sir. What are you working on and where can people find you?
I am currently working on books 3 and 4 of the series. Books 1 and 2 are out now. I'm working on Mystified Investigations. The young lady you see on the right, Elizabeth, she is now an adult and helping some teenagers who got caught up with a cartel and trying to get them out of there. The current books that are out now are Haley Star Bad Kitty and the follow-up Bad Kitty, Haley's World. They are sci-fi fantasy adventures. I guess you could call them urban fantasy, as they go through an underground complex on an adventure in a Metroidvania style adventure. So they got to deal with figuring out how to progress through that labyrinth and escape. You can find them on Amazon or pretty much anywhere books are sold. You can also check out my YouTube channel. Do a channel search for @Wrangler212. It should pop right up. And check out my Substack. And over there, I have a short story set in the same universe as some LA detectives have to deal with the changing world from the fallout of the adventures they went on in the first 2 books. And also, you can check me out over on the X Twitter under Frequency Studios. And yeah, I think that's everything.
Nice. Let's play your trailer before we get to James.
Haley and Elizabeth are back, and this time the Spuds are really going to fly. Who's wild? And this time the Spuds are really going to fly. And Haley's world. Who's wild? And this time the Spuds are really going to fly. Who's world? And this time the Spuds are really going to fly.
And remember, when aliens invade your hometown, there's no better way to fight back than an arm-mounted potato gun.
And that was an AI song as well, by the way.
Yep, that whole trailer was put together by Mr. James Esparza himself.
Speaking of James, here we go,
Hello,
James.
gentlemen.
What are
Yeah,
you doing and what are you up to when you're not eating crickets?
plenty. One of the things I do is I keep up to date with my Substack, where the trailer you played earlier, this is the official short story page for the 5th installment for everybody to check out. It also comes with a free, well, not free, for my paid subscribers, you get an early release of the next episode. Right here, you got an intro to what had happened previously. You have the trailer right here, and then you have a free PDF download that you get. Yes, PDFs are here, everybody. And you get the entirety of the story. And right here is pretty much where the break happens for our free subscribers or paid subscribers. Get the next issue you get to jump into right away. Once again, get yourself a free download right there for a PDF. Got yourself a lovely cover made by Frederic right here. We always put the episode title up here. Change the episode. Now it's episode 6. Once again, you get everything here. Get yourself this free PDF. Here's part 5, the one I was showing you. This is the PDF. This is what you get to download. This is what you get to read. There's art. There's the same section.
A map?
There's a little bit of a map there. Yeah, right up here. People like maps.
Oh, wicked.
This is where it takes place. This is a much larger map, but every time I create a new story, I shift the map over to where the story takes place. So the entire story takes place roughly right here on the map. And of course, you got the entirety right here for you to enjoy. So go ahead, grab yourself a PDF, download that for free on my Substack. That's worldwithoutendlore.substack.com, or find me on my Royal Road right here. That's World Without End at Royal Road. I don't post there as much, but you can get all my stories. So follow me, people.
Nice. And we'll play your trailer one last time.
Through hollow night, our voices soar. We roam no more, our spirits roar. In dust and shield, our hearts burn free. We sing the spark of destiny. No throne, no crown, no gilded lore. Our oath resounds forevermore. Against the tide, we stand as one. Our crow will echo when dark is done.
Woohoo! Yeah, give me a follow, give me a subscribe over there, Substack at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com.
Thank you very much. And I have been Frederic Guimont. I have just finished closing out my campaign this weekend. Ratel comic number 1 is underway. I've got the last page colored in today. So all the art is officially complete. So I'll be putting that together in the following months and getting it out to the printer. And it should be in your hands by March if you backed it, of course. So thank you very much. I'll leave you guys out with my own Ratel trailer with, of course, Annonymal's music in the background with A Wizard is the Fool. The Wizard is a Fool.
Our world is crumbling, and most people are blind to it. A young computer whiz named Raimi decides to stand against the rising tide of oppression, only to find himself under the boot of those behind it all. Incarceration only proves to refine his resolve. Divine intervention takes away all fear from him in order to fix a broken system that enslaves us all. There comes a time when good men must ignore bad laws. Raimi dons a mask and becomes Ratel. Ratel uses intelligence and technology to combat ancient and dark forces for justice and a better tomorrow. Will Ratel take down the technocratic tyrants who've harnessed an ancient evil, or be crushed by the invisible hand?
Thank you so much for watching tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now you can put a voice behind the sound of Annonymal. It was nice to have you, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure. And let's do lots of stuff together in the future.
That sounds great, man. The year is about to start. 2026 is in the works. And we are just bursting with creativity. So I think there's a lot of good stuff coming around the corner. Thank you so much for watching the show, folks. I will see you next week. We don't have a guest next week, so we'll either be shooting the shit, or if you know someone who wants to promo something, well, get in touch with me on Twitter and we'll make it happen. So enjoy your evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next week.
The sun has gone to bed, and so must I. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, goodbye.
Hello, Bitcoiners. Thank you very much. Hello. It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you.